Boy, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Monday Mashup. We got a lot of things to talk about. LSU, Brian Kelly, making some mistakes on social media. Are we surprised? No, it's Brian Kelly and the boys. That's what they do. Then we're going to talk about FSU. We're going to ask our guy himself, or should we be concerned? We've got linemen missing bags. I know they're clips, but it's the offseason. I got questions. We're going to ask our boy Cowboy Ty about it. What are the odds that Ohio State repeats? It hasn't been asked about, and it's because Texas and Penn State and other teams are kind of taking the weight here. But when you really look at it, they got to be part. It's got to be part of the conversation. Schedule's easy. They're going to roll into it once again. The biggest portal impact player. Who's it going to be and why? And then we're going to preview the Dogs. Preview South Carolina 2 weeks ago. Now we're going to get after the Georgia Bulldogs. They're starting to get a lot of bark, if you will, to be kind of that quiet team that gets it done. Although they're still favored to win behind Texas, they haven't been spoken about like they have over the last couple of years, so it's going to be a fun conversation for us today. Of course, we got Cody, the prof, dialed in. No latte? Okay, had me worried there. I was like, this guy doesn't care about the success of the channel. And then, of course, Cowboy Ty, looking better than ever, my man. Good to see you. Yes, sir. Good to see you. Hey, good to see you. You know, we were together on Tuesday. We had to handle some boys on the golf course and do what we do best. Yeah. And handle it. We won't spoil any more, but Jason knows what's up. He knows whose daddy is, and that's all that we care about. That's all that we care about here at the show. But boys, good to see you. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Let's get after it, man. We're what are we 2 weeks away? Is it 2 weeks away from football? Is that right? Is my math right? My math?
Maybe 3. Is it 3? I think it's 3.
I mean, technically, I started this Saturday with that dub for Bubs. So there's a rock fight, 12-0.
All right. Well, I mean, we're in it. I think we've already established we're in it. I said it on Sunday's show as like this is kind of like when you think about the weekend. The best part about the weekend, if we're all being honest, is like Friday at 1:30 to like Saturday like 8 p.m. It's like the sweet spot, right? That 1:30 buzz of like we're getting hyped up because it's about to be the weekend. That's where we're at in college football. Like it's like we're here. We're not off yet. It's not 5 p.m., but it's so dang close that we can sit here and talk about it, because it is close enough that we can taste it. And that's where we're at right now, boys. So we're having a good time. But before we get into FSU, there was some drama that happened on the internet here with Brian Kelly and LSU. And I had to look it up. I was unaware of this. I told you boys about this at the beginning of the show, but LSU did not, they got dragged, if you would, the social media team. So I'll kind of let you know what happened. They had like a 6-second little reel. I watched it like 9 times because people were going, no way. And I go, what did I miss? It opened up with a scene of a tower, a watchtower, the video tower during practice. It was like, and then it went away. And then got into the juice of the video. Well, apparently back in 2014, there was when Brian Kelly was at Notre Dame, there was a really windy day and was adamant about practice. We're going to go practice. Get your butt up at the tower, kid. Record this practice. Well, that tower got blown over and that young man did not make it. And so obviously there's like, hey, like who's at fault here? It was a big ordeal with Brian Kelly. Well, that's how it ended. I don't know exactly how it all panned out, but there's obviously some negativity surrounding that. So when this video opens up, that really doesn't have a place in the story at all of just a watchtower. Immediately, everyone's like, you can't do that. And the LSU team got dragged. They deleted it, but of course, it's the internet. It lives forever. There was already screen saved. It had been shared multitude of times. Wild times. You really never can forget about anything. And again, it was, for me, even after I found out about the story, my thing was, I'm like, for the person that created it, like, how would anybody think like that? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what's like, I don't know how you take a clip, because that's still part of football. Like, they're just trying to make a cool transition, which it was cool, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong here. I feel like I could be on the wrong side of the bat here. I just felt like it was a little bit of an overreaction to social. It wasn't like Brian Kelly tweeted it. You know what I mean? Like Brian Kelly actively went out and shot this video. Like that would be a little weird. Some media kid. Like that's the take here. Ty, I'll let you go first if you have any take. Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't want to get yelled at, canceled for a bad take.
I mean, I don't think we get canceled or anything like that, but like this could be just LSU fans who are already mad at Brian Kelly, just trying to make him look even worse than what he already does, makes himself look worse. I don't know. They're just trying to add. Maybe it's just somebody just trying to add a little.
We just need football. I think that's what it boils down to. Yeah, it's
Right.
just
No, I agree. I mean, I don't think it's obviously it's not good, but at the end of the day, like they didn't have any, he didn't have any say in it, but I didn't even know about that story, which really like makes me even look at Brian Kelly even a lot worse than what I already way I look
which
at it
is
to begin with.
that's how I felt. Like I
Yeah.
didn't know about it either. So that was the only thing that I kind of learned from this weekend. Very interesting story. I feel like we had to because for me it was massive, and it really kind of got like really big and then hushed really fast too, which is really weird. Again,
I was
maybe
gonna say
because
I've never heard it. It's crazy.
maybe because it kind of like it got blown out of proportion a little bit. Again, I don't think anybody was intending to hurt anybody's feelings, but all right, let's talk about FSU. Let's get after it here. Obviously, when we get into talking season, these practice clips start coming out. Everybody's going 12-0. That's just the name of the game, right? But as it goes, the ops are always going to keep their eyes and ears open for a little mishap, for a little hiccup. We're gonna watch the clips. We got Tennessee throwing a pick today, and then someone paused the video. The quarterback's blurred out. Like these boys, like these social media teams have to be careful when they post clips. It is nuts. There's no safe zone out there, boys. And FSU, I don't know if y'all got a rat running around and the amount of videos that we're getting, it looks like a shot on a razor. Like it's not even supposed to be happening, right? The amount of clips I've seen for your boys missing the bag on the D line, I got questions, Ty. And I know they're clips, but damn, talk to me, baby. Should we be concerned? Just a week ago we were talking about how FSU could be kind of like a silent killer in this Bama game. I don't know if I feel that way anymore.
Why? Because they can't tackle bags.
I mean, that's the start.
Can't tackle bags. They don't even hit the sled, Ty. They use their face to hit the sled.
Listen, guys.
Wait, teaching them CTE? Is that CTE University?
Listen,
Golly.
they run these plays all the time. They've run thousands and thousands of plays. You think this is the only people that have done this? Like, this is, come on. We're talking about clips. What are we talking about? Clips? Clips.
Not a game.
Not a game. Not a game. Clips.
Not
You're
one.
right.
But now, practice.
On the flip side, TJ from Double Handy and Hold My Slaw, he was completely optimistic. He's like, this team is going to steamroll Alabama in so many words. What are you?
Oh, come on! I don't think that by any stretch of the means. That's a little.
That
absurd.
was your FSU insider. That's all. I'm just reporting the news here. What are?
I'm a fan, but I'm also a realist.
What are you reading? What are you feeling? Like we got a couple practices. I want to know the vibe on FSU. I need to know what's happening.
I think they're going to be competitive. I don't expect anything drastic or anything like that, but I do think they are going to be competitive. I think they've pieced together the offensive line, which was the downfall of them last year. They couldn't block. The defensive line and the linebackers is what I worry about the most because I don't have a whole lot of feel of any of those guys. But the D line's better. The O line's pieced together. They're all transfer guys, so I have no idea what to expect. But I do think they're going to be competitive. I think they're in a good offense. I think the Gus Malzahn offense fits them. I really do. And I think they are going to be okay. I'm not worried about a practice where a guy misses a slat. Like, who gives a damn? Like, that probably happened in every
fundamentals.
I get it, but like it's practice, buddy. Like it happens.
Happen.
Like they're clips. It does happen. Everyone does it. I've seen people miss this.
I got a U10 team that doesn't do that, Ty. I showed Milan that clip, my son. You know what he said? I said, Milan, what happens if you did this? He said, you're going to get my lunch back. And I said, what does that mean? He's like, you're literally going to run me all practice until you get my lunch back. What is that?
What
CTE University?
Just a clip, Ty.
Okay.
Just a clip. I'll repeat.
Just a clip. It's just
he looks
a clip.
like he looks like he's
just,
diving in for
something else. I mean, his hands slip off the side of it. What are we talking about? Look at his hands. His hand just slips off the side of the pad. Looks like we need new pads, not new players. It's fine.
Blame me on the pads. Well, pads were sweaty.
You know what that reminded me of Jason on the golf course. And he was blaming the clubs.
Almighty.
And he was blaming
looks like he was trying to reenact that Tallahassee Lassie that he was diving into the night before.
You guys better hope you just keep Lagway upright because that guy's hurt every other practice.
Hey, that's not what this section says.
Hey, yeah, we're talking about FSU.
It's FSU
No need
Outlook.
for low blows.
It's FSU Outlook. Hey, don't start that.
Yeah.
It's FSU Outlook.
That's low for you, even for you, Ty. That's low. I expect
I
that.
love Lagway, but keep him upright.
Ty, I can say this.
You don't have to worry about that guy tackling him, so you're fine.
With the athletic fortitude of what you have, you would have made it look better. It's not a good look. Not one, but 2 different days that has happened.
Yeah, I think you would have done better, Ty. I'm team Ty on that one. All right, let's get after it. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it rolling.
I'm done talking about practice.
We'll have more clips next week. Maybe we'll get some better things, and Ty can come back with a little more juice in his wings.
We know you ain't talking about playoffs because you can't make it there either.
Yeah, so
I don't expect that.
Let's talk about repeats, or what's a better thing of how. Look, my thought was like, hey, can Ohio State repeat? What's more likely to happen? Ohio State repeating or Tennessee making the playoffs? I feel like that's a healthy conversation because of what's happened to Tennessee here over the last few months. There was some stuff with their boot Carter, but that seems to have gone away, fortunately enough for them. But look, I think when you start talking about a repeat, that's always a fun conversation when it comes to any sport of like, can the team that did it last year, are they poised to do it once again? And there hasn't been much talk about Ohio State because obviously the excitement of Texas is just through the roof. Penn State seems to be the shoe-in. Clemson is carrying a lot of weight as well. But then after that, you got Georgia, Alabama, and Ohio State. That's kind of that next tier for everybody that are all in the same category in a sense. Alabama doesn't have a quarterback. Georgia has an inexperienced quarterback. And Ohio State has a quarterback that hasn't played at all in Julian Sand, but has a ton of excitement that's surrounding him, and they have arguably 2 of the best players in college football not named a quarterback, and Caleb Downs and Jeremiah Smith. So a lot of talent still bodes in Ohio State, and their schedule is very favorable. Once again, they're not playing any of the big dogs like Oregon. I think they missed out on maybe Penn State, maybe I think USC. I don't know. It's very easy. We've looked at it a handful of times, but can they do it? Or their chances, make the conversation a little bit easier, are their chances more likely to repeat than Tennessee making the playoffs? Ty, I'll let you get after it first, big guys, since we just beat you up a little bit.
That's all right. I take it like a champ. No big deal. But, like I definitely, if I was going to pick one, I would say Ohio State has a better chance of repeating than I would see Tennessee making a playoff. I think Tennessee's got a ton of question marks going on over there. They've lost a ton of their talent on top of it. Ohio State, they bring in a new quarterback in Sand, but we haven't seen him play. I'm assuming he's probably pretty good. Like he was a big time recruit, whatever. But when you look at the talent on the other positions that they have, it's hard not to be good on that football team. People don't even talk about Carnell Tate. He's going to be one of their main wide receivers beside Jeremiah Smith. The running backs, you're going to introduce a new running back because you lost both of your guys, Judkins and Travion Henderson. But Ohio State always produces running backs too. And then Caleb Downs on the other side. And once again, the team's going to be loaded. We question the quarterback because that's the main position. But like Ohio State's one of them teams that you could probably plug almost anyone in there, and they're going to be competitive and have a chance to win every single week. And with a favorable schedule, I just think they have a more opportunity than Tennessee when Tennessee's most likely probably going to lose probably 4 games in the SEC alone. So if I was going to pick one, it'd definitely be Ohio State.
Cody?
Yeah, I have to say that just to highlight the running back room. Listen, they got James Peoples in, a guy that I actually had talked to multiple times. Was going to get him up on an interview, but just he's playing the All-American game and stuff like that, so the timing didn't work out. But James Peoples is a real dude. I mean, that kid was an absolute phenom in high school, and he is going to feed families behind that Ohio State offensive line. I think Tennessee's just got too many questions. And it's not even the offense. I think they have too many questions on defense. I mean, you think of that Tennessee team, they kind of Nico for what everybody thinks Nico is. They kind of pretty much gave them a gift wrap every game. They're like, hey, the defense is going to hold points to hold everybody to 14 to 21 points. We're going to run the ball extremely well with the running back that got drafted, and you got to make a couple of plays. Well, the running back is gone. The wide receiver core is not what it was last year. They lost a ton of pieces in Squirrel White and company. And on top of that, I don't think the defense is going to be as good as it was last year. So I'm going to have to double down on Ohio State, unfortunately.
Yeah, look, and again, I take a look at their schedule. They got Michigan, of course, who's been their bigger brother for the last couple of years. And I think Ryan Day did a great job of getting.
That game doesn't matter when it comes to the playoffs if they win every single other game.
I know. But look, they got Illinois. We know Illinois has been tough, but it's Illinois, Michigan, Penn State, and they have Texas. That Texas game throws a little bit in a wrench for the typical Ohio State schedule. So it's much harder.
And it's early.
It's early, but it's still, a notch that could be. But I mean, I like Ohio State. It's gonna be a fun one. It's gonna be a good Big Ten SEC matchup. I want SEC to get it done. But I win either way because if Arch goes down, I get to have fun regardless. But that's besides the point. I like Ohio State here a lot, and again, I think Ryan Day got a massive monkey off his back. I think they do lose a handful of talent on top of their defensive coordinator, and they lost their offensive coordinator. So there are some key pieces that are missing. But if we are talking in comparison to, hey, which one has a better chance? Yeah, I don't think Tennessee. I think Tennessee. I mean, they're looking at 7-5, 6-6, easily.
100%.
I think Ohio State. I think Ohio State things the best, and they just play Big Ten football, which is 3 yards in a cloud of dust most of the time, right? And they're gonna have the running backs. They're gonna have the offensive line, and to put a cherry on top, Seon's throwing to probably one of the best wide receiver cores in the nation.
Yeah,
I mean, you got Jeremiah Smith and all the other 5-star freaks that they've brought in, right? Like that guy. Like I could probably sit back there and be a Heisman hopeful.
Easy takes a rare up.
Listen. I am not as big on Penn State this year as everyone is. So I don't think that's going to be as tough a game. I'm not a Drew Aller guy. I'm just going to talk about Drew Aller. I just don't think he sees the field well. He has all the tools and all the mechanics, and that's what everybody falls in love with. But if you go watch him and you go watch some film, he was bailed out by Tyler Warren a lot. Tyler Warren was probably the best player.
You know what I love? I love about these shows, like getting to talk with everyone, right? Whether it's Cody, Harris, Dave, and Ty. You guys find your takes and you ride them. And I get pumped to see, hey, how are they going to pan out, right? And this is one that you were big with Carson Beck being asked last year. Garrett Nussmeier, we all agree on, I think is going to do well. We've got our guy, Will at SEC, Read and React, that's not high. So there's a take that I'm following. But you have been adamant that Drew Aller is not going to be the guy, or Penn State's not going to be the team that everybody thinks they're going to be, which is going to be very interesting because I think their expectations are, it's got to be championship or bust. That's where they're at.
I gotta double down on what Ty said too. That tight end was 90% of their offense. Yes, they have very good running backs, but all teams are going to have to do is load the box. They had no weapons at wide receiver. Their only throwing threat was the tight end, and now he is gone. I don't think Penn State makes the playoffs.
I don't hate it. Once again, I think their defense is good enough, and the running game's good enough. But I wouldn't be shocked. It would not surprise me one bit.
I'm so excited to watch Penn State, Iowa. It's gonna be 3-7 at the end of 4.
So look, I mean, okay, so they got Nevada, FIU, Villanova. Then they got Oregon. I like Oregon there as always. They go to UCLA and Nico. They got Northwestern, so they're more likely one loss. Then they've got at Iowa, which you're telling me is going to be a dogfight. Then they've got at Penn State. Then they've got Indiana, Michigan State, then Nebraska. We'll see what Nebraska's able to do. Then Rutgers. So we're looking at. I mean, if they take an L at Iowa, there's 3 losses in Oregon, Ohio State, and Iowa.
I don't think 3 losses with their schedule is going to get them in either. So, It wouldn't shock me if they didn't make it, but, I don't see 3 losses there. I'm not saying they're a bad football team. I just don't think they're as good as everyone thinks they are. And I think it's the quarterback play for me.
I would say the representation from the Big Ten is going to be Ohio State and Oregon.
Michigan?
Possibly.
It's all
I
about
mean, I don't know.
Underwood.
Yeah,
What does he
keep
do?
Yeah, there's a third team there, but it's not Penn State. Everybody's high on Penn State. You lost your biggest dynamic playmaker and your pacifier. Not only a pacifier, not just a little 5-yard dink and
defense
dunk,
is
but a
good though,
guy that
boys. Defense is
Oh,
good.
I
yeah.
agree.
So is
I
Iowa's.
agree.
So is Iowa's defense. They can't
Their
score
offense
points.
their
Penn
offense isn't
State's
that
not gonna be able to
pathetic.
score. Penn State's not gonna be able to score any points. It's gonna be a rock fight.
He's losing it. Rock fights. 12-0, just like your team, just like your
Golly,
boys team.
wait.
I can't wait to
12-0.
watch them.
I
Saw
love
me
it.
Their
to
defense
sleep.
is going to be good. They're going to play good defense. They're going to run the football. But once again, I don't think they have enough playmakers, and I think it's going to be an issue, and it's going to get exposed.
Let's talk about biggest portal impact. A lot of movement this year, a lot of big time names. We've talked about it, how it impacts certain teams, but the individual. Who is it? Cody, we'll let you go first, but let's let the smoke keep rolling.
I gotta go with my guy coming from Georgia Tech, the wide receiver Eric Singleton. Is that his name?
Yes.
Singletary.
Yep.
Singletary?
Singleton.
Eric
Singleton?
Jr.
Eric-
Yeah.
Eric Singleton's going to be nasty at Auburn. We talk about a loaded room, and you just stack another guy that was their only offensive weapon at wide receiver at Georgia Tech, and he put up all kinds of yards. I mean, that kid is going to be that kid. If they have a halfway decent quarterback and they can resurrect Jackson Arnold, watch out. Because that kid's going to feed families. He's going to be spectacular. Probably going to be better than Coleman.
Ty?
That's great. Yeah, I mean, I like what you said there, Cody, because a lot of people don't know who Eric Singleton is because he plays for a Georgia Tech offense, which is not a high throwing offense. And now, if they, like you said, they get Jackson Arnold and they get him moving in the right direction to make him a passer, Singleton has a huge year for sure. I agree.
Hey,
But my guy is
quick
ahead.
nugget. Got a little insight from my
What's
guy,
that?
Vegas. That Auburn Baylor game on a Friday, week 1. Just keep your eyes on it.
I'm gonna be watching it.
They want Baylor. They want Baylor.
Just keep your eyes on it.
Keep
Could be one. Could be one to watch. Ty?
Yeah. Well, my biggest impact guy in the transfer portal is got to be. I'm big on this guy, John Mateer, man. I love him, man. And like I said, I said something when we had our golf match this week. I had said something to Jason about it, and I was like, man, it breaks my heart that you guys actually have a good quarterback. Like, I'm gonna have to hear this all year, but I think that he is legit, and I think there is something over there in Washington State that we don't know about. But they just send quarterbacks to the league, and I believe in it. Like, I really believe that this team they're going to send another one. He is more of a dual threat, but he can throw. And it's impressive. I think that offense takes a huge step forward, and I believe in Jade Knott, and I think John Mateer makes that offense go, and Oklahoma is going to be somebody to be reckoned with this year. And it all starts in that quarterback room, man. It really does. And I think that guy is special.
He turned a lot of heads at SEC Media Week. Got a lot of people excited. You're not wrong with that one. I'm going to go a little bit different route in kind of a backwards way. It's going to be Nico, but the impact is going to be on Tennessee, not at UCLA. It's going to be the impact that he's causing to Tennessee by leaving, by how he left, when he left.
That's a good point.
Little unique. I know that it's always fun to say, like, hey, like, what team is going to be impacted? But again, we just talked about how that team is looking at 6-6, 7-5, maybe 5-7 wins because of everything else that's happened to them. With Nico, they were going to be a competitive team. This team comes in, probably would have been finished or voted to finish 5th in the SEC. But you lose your quarterback at the worst possible time. And you could just see it in Heupel's eyes, just completely lost in the sauce out there. And again, plenty of teams lose players in the portal. Plenty of teams has lost movements, but they're able to act and respond and fix it. And look, they went and got Joey Aguilar, so it wasn't like they weren't completely left in the dust. But I think that a team that is was just the playoffs. Like, think about it like that. A team that was just in the playoffs is now going to be staring at a possible 5-7 and looking at a very scary, slippery slope. because of this quarterback hiccup situation. They put a lot of eggs into their basket. Now, I know they've got that kid coming in, that 5-star tackle that they put a lot of. I can't think of his name. They've got talent in the trenches. They put a lot of money into that, I know, but I don't know. It could be a slippery slope on how they've managed some of these deals.
They have McIntyre, which is a pretty good 4-star quarterback. I just don't think he's ready. He's not one of those guys that can step in and take over a program. This is my question. I think 5 wins is probably pretty optimistic when it comes to Tennessee. I just want to know if the Big Orange Vols are going to be still praising Coach Heupel about making the decision and standing on the grounds of not paying Nico, because they created this mess. They were the first one to create this mess, and now they're getting bit by the snake that they let into the cage or let into the room. And I wonder, after a couple bad losses, if they start regretting. And I know Nico's not a he wasn't going to be a Heisman hopeful candidate, but knew the offense. I don't think they got any better at the wide receiver position. I don't think they got any better at the tight end position, and they lost the best running back that they've had in years. I just don't see it. I think that this team is going to take a massive downfall. I think they're probably going to be at the bottom end of the SEC.
Agreed.
Yeah,
I think they're going to be below Vandy. I really think they're going to be below Vandy this year and wins in the SEC.
All right, boys, let's move on to the last little bit here. Let's break down this Georgia schedule and see where they're gonna shape up, how this season's gonna bode for them. Again, I think Georgia loses a lot. They're not being talked about like they have in the past, but I know there's still some people saying that Georgia's gonna be their dark night, if you will, because Texas is really kind of carrying the reins, the team to take in. It's take over. Alabama has some question marks, but when you look at the schedule, is it daunting? I see a quick 7-6-0.
3 dubs.
Yeah, I
agree.
I like. I mean, they got Bama at home. I know that Bama, and even Uncle Lou will say that Bama has had their number even without Saban because they had him last year. So that's going to still be a concern. But again, let's not say a quick 4-0, but I love a quick 3-0. If I'm not being honest, I mean. That Florida, Texas are the 2 tough ones in my opinion for them this year. I'm being a little biased for sure, but I just think of where that game is trending and where it was headed last year is a game that's going to be a little nerve wracking. That Ole Miss game, if there's a game that Georgia's going to be prepared for, it's going to be that one. The way that Lane Kiffin kind of carried himself at the end of after that game, it was their Super Bowl to say the least. It's at home.
Who's the first game?
Marshall.
Oh, it looked like the Old Miss or the Mississippi State logo. So
yeah,
I was like, "What?
They're out of conferences. They're out of conferences. A joke."
Is that Austin P week 2? Is that what that is?
Yeah, that's what that looks like.
And then they have Charlotte 49ers at the end of the season. I mean,
that G-Tech game though. Let's not sleep on G-Tech.
Hey,
Haynes King.
What are we thinking here, boys? 9-3.
Well, here's how I see it. I say they start the season 3-0. I do think they're going to beat Alabama and gets them to 4-0.
Kentucky's 5.
They're going to beat Kentucky, but I think that game's going to be closer than people think because it's right after Alabama, and I think Kentucky's going to give them a little bit of a football game. I know, but like Kentucky seems to play them well.
True.
Just saying. Like I don't. I'm not a big Kentucky guy, but it just seems like they play Georgia tough. The Auburn game, I do think they're going to win, but we don't know what Auburn.
Yeah, that one could be an interesting one. That one could be a circle one. Yeah,
they could be really good. They could be really bad. Like we don't know. They could be out. They could be great. The Ole Miss game, like you said, they're going to be prepared for that game. I do think they will win this one. The Florida game, now that game is the one in the circle because I do believe if Lagway is healthy and he stays healthy. And he is in that game, I do think Florida is going to win that game. Georgia's had their number for too many years. Florida wants to beat the brakes off of them. Yeah, they just do. I do believe they will win that game if everything is the way it is. Mississippi State, they're going to win. Texas game, I have them losing. And I think they might get 3 losses just because somebody might upset them. Like Ole Miss might upset them, Auburn might upset them, Georgia Tech might. Like,
Yeah.
I think
I'm
they're going to lose to Texas and Florida, and then
I'm saying ceiling is 10-2. And then I'm putting 9-3 in there with 3 circles, right? With 3 asterisks. I think the Bama, Auburn, and Georgia Tech game could be one of those, could throw a wrench into it. Bama not as much. I'm putting more on the Auburn and Georgia Tech, and it's because I think Auburn has the opportunity to kind of catch some people by surprise. And we know how hard it is to play at Auburn, and Auburn gave them fits just a couple of years ago. That was a Ron Roberts coach defense, so a little bit different. But in that Georgia Tech had them up against had them in the ropes last year. So I don't know.
they should have won.
They should have won.
Haynes King's back, baby. Haynes King's back.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see what they're going to be able to do. But I like 10-2, 9-3. I think that's the sweet spot for them. Obviously, 11-1's always in the mix. I think if that Texas game could be, that one's always going to be an interesting one. We don't know what Texas is truly going to bring. Right now, everyone's just kind of circling Texas as going undefeated. But I mean, Texas. Think about Texas. Texas opens up Ohio State. It's got Florida a couple weeks later at Florida. They've got Georgia at Georgia. I mean, golly, boys. That's just 3 of the games.
Yeah, no, they're going to earn. They're going to earn whatever they get this year.
This might be a hot take, but I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 4 losses for Georgia.
I'm listening.
I got Florida loss. I got at Mississippi State loss. Now, everybody's like, Mississippi State. Yeah, go to Mississippi State and try to play a game. I mean, the cowbells are going to be ringing. Freshman quarterback. I got a Texas loss, and I got Revenge of the Nerds, as Uncle Lou says in Georgia Tech. I got a Georgia Tech loss.
The Mississippi State's wild one. I love your cowbell take. But I mean, Florida went in there and curb stomped them last year, no problem. But you know what was funny was we were doing their SC Media game, and I thought I was looking at their new and improved roster. And I was like, man, this team is going to come in with it was Oklahoma. So they haven't done anything exciting. They're still picking at the bottom of the barrel. Blake Shapen's trying to do the best that he can. We've got Libby out there trying to sell a hope and a dream. That one's. But you said 4 losses. I still think that 4 could pop up. I just don't know if Mississippi State's going to be the one.
I think Mississippi State's going to be a shocker at night in Starks, Vegas. I think it really can be. They can run the ball extremely well, and they're going to play good defense.
Cody's full of them tonight, boys. Let's see how he checks out.
I think that's going to put Georgia in a blender. They couldn't stop Georgia Tech last year at the run. I think the defense. I think the defensive line is very suspect at this time. I think they're going to be blitz happy. I think Mississippi State may pull that off in Starksville.
Boys are cooking.
My two guys you
and
want
then
to watch
Revenge
this
of the
week.
Nerds 2.0, Georgia Tech by 14.
Listen,
Tie.
the 2 guys you're going to keep your 2 guys you need to know on Georgia are going to be Oscar Delp and Lucky Lawson, because they are the quarterback's best friend when you're new is a tight end, and Oscar Delp has Brock Bowers' abilities. So keep an eye. Oscar Delp. Know the guy.
A lot of takes, boys. Write them down. Keep them in check. Come bring back your receipts. We want to hear them. Hope you guys enjoyed today's show. We got Cowboy Ty, Cody the Prof, and myself. Y'all be good. Stay safe. We'll see you guys next Monday morning live at 8:35. Peace and love, baby.
It's the right way.